people. Today we're doing a butterfly set that I took the inspiration from my phone case. So that's what we're going to do. I'm doing these on a medium length coffin tip, which I have pre-prepped. And we're going to be ready to go. This set took me around 3 hours to do, which really shouldn't have taken anywhere near that time, but I had a lot of issues that I had to work out, and so there was quite a bit of trial and error that went on. Most of that you're not going to see because I didn't want to bore you with it. But there may be a few things I left in just to show you how things do not always go smoothly when you're trying to do nail stuff. But moving on, this is all of the nails except the ring finger which is now purple, which we just did, are going to be this Holo glitter polish. I'm a bit scattered today. I'm doing a craft show tomorrow and having all my nails there, so actually by the time you guys are seeing this it'll be over, but for me I'm kind of freaking out today, trying to get all my stuff together, making sure I know what I'm doing, because it's only going to be my second show I've done. Really the first one didn't count for anything because I knew I wasn't going to sell anything there. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing, but back to the nails. Now I had this should have been a really easy set to do, but it got complicated because well, you'll see as we go. I hope you guys are all doing good out there, wherever you are. Here in SoCal, it's we've gone from being cold to suddenly now we're hot. We really don't have much of a spring. It pretty much goes from cold to summer, like within a couple days, so we're back to hot now. And this is the phone case I'm working off of. I guess I should have showed you that at the beginning. So you see how it's clear with the different glittery stuff in there. I did my best to try and recreate it, but well, I'll just leave it at that. I did my best. Okay, we're going to use these Holo stars, the silver ones, because there's little stars in that mix. Now I have not cured those that I just painted the glitter polish on. I've left it wet for now, and I'm going to drop some of these stars on here. Just a few on each one. And I'm going to let them cure into the polish when it's cured. I thought this would be the easiest way to do this without having to do a whole bunch of extra stuff. And I'm just going to keep putting them on, so dropping on a few here, a few there. I'm trying to get them on an area where they're going to lay flat. I don't want to have them on totally on the curve where they're going to have parts sticking up, because that creates another set of issues. Okay, now we're ready to cure these. And I'm going to do a second coat on this one, the purple one. And then on the other ones, I'm going in with a quick coat of top coat to seal those stars on there and just to smooth them out a little bit, because I'm going to be stamping on there and I didn't want to have any of the bumpy stars sticking up, causing me problems with the stamping. Okay, now those are ready to cure again, and there we go. Now moving on to the stamping. Now I had a lot of issues here, so this is the color I ended up settling on. I tried to stamp, well, firstly I tried to mix up with white stamping polish and some pigment the color. I had the perfect color to match those butterflies on my case, but I ended up settling on this. it just wouldn't show up. It didn't show up when I stamped it onto the nail. And then I used one of the mud gels that was a color close to that, and it also didn't show up. So that is why I ended up with this darker purple, which was not the color I wanted, but that's what I had to use. And essentially we're going to end up using these as a base to paint on because, you know, as a guide, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because I didn't want to leave them just the dark that they were, because it just didn't match anything that I was trying to go for there. But back to the stamping, put the polish on. You gotta give it a scrape. Now if you notice the first one of these, I was talking through it, but I scraped it a little too hard and it took the polish out of the middle of that butterfly, so I had to re-go over it again. But yeah, you've got to scrape firmly, but not so firm that you take off all the polish. Okay, the rest of those purple ones I'll do off camera, and now there's some of them are just a black outline, so that's what we're going to do with this. And as you can see by my paper towel, I've already done a lot of experimenting with things that did not go well, so at least I'm not making you sit through all that. Okay, and there's the black one, I think. Yep. Okay, we just got the black one on there. That's what we've got so far. I mean, they look kind of cute as they are, but just not the right color of the butterfly is not what I was shooting for. Unfortunately, I didn't have any stickers or... Oh, you know what? I forgot to look through my foils. Well, I didn't have any stickers, and I didn't have any decals, and I didn't have... the right color stamping polish, so this is how we're ending up where we are. Okay, the rest of those I'm going to do off camera now. And we've cleaned that stamping mess up, and now we're moving on. This is what I ended up doing. I'm using the violet color that I mixed with the stamping polish, the white stamping polish. And I'm also using a little bit of the what do you call it? The mud gel, the Venalisa Mud Gels as part of the paint for this. And I'm kind of sort of doing a one-stroke thing just to fill in these butterflies with the color, or closer color to what I wanted. They're not going to be perfect. And I'm not concerned that it's not covering it fully, because those lines kind of give it a little bit of character. But as you can see, I mean, these two don't look the greatest, but as we went along, I started getting a little better at this. I don't do the one-stroke stuff because I've tried it a few times and I just cannot seem to grasp it very well. I mean, it looks really easy when you're watching somebody do it, but then when you try it, it just doesn't seem to work for me. So that thing is going to have a lot more practice. But in the meantime, with this set, I'm just going to give it a swipe on each of the wings so that they're covered mostly with this color, which is much closer to the color I was shooting for. And like I said, I'm not worrying about full coverage because we're going to be outlining them, and those little kind of lines give it a little more character. Okay, I guess I'm going to show you another one. I thought I was just going to give you a couple, but I guess I left another one on. If I wasn't going for matching that phone case, though, it would have looked cute the way it was. I would have been just as happy with those darker purple ones. Especially since we have the black one, the outline black one, because it's already a dark color, so the other ones didn't look as out of place. Well, that's a little bit of a sloppy one on that one. I was trying to keep my brush stroke lines going all towards the center, so it kind of looked like it was supposed to be like that. This is another example of pivoting in the middle of what you're trying to do because it wasn't working and coming up with a solution. Okay, there we go with those. Are we done now? Okay, we're moving on now to the outlining, and I'm going to use black gel paint. Now, I wasn't super happy with the way these came out, and my detailer brush. As it went along, I started to get a little better, but at the outset, my lines were a little bit thicker than I wanted them to be, so the butterflies kind of looked a little clunky. But anyway, we're going to carry on. I think this is the only one I'm going to show, and then I'll do the rest off camera. But I'm just going to outline the wings. I'm trying to get nice thin lines, but as I said, they're a little bit thicker than I would like. This is one of the parts that took so much time, because I go very slowly when I'm doing this kind of stuff, and I had all those butterflies that I stamped to do. But as I went along, it did get a little quicker, and they did start to look neater. I really don't take a lot of time to practice off camera, or before I'm doing something. I don't usually practice it unless it's something really crazy that I'm really not sure is going to work. Then I may try something ahead of time, but for the most part, I'm kind of learning as I go. That's kind of my usual MO for things. I generally just jump right in and go for it, and then try to work out any issues along the way. On the bright side, at least I've got it in the camera shot. Well, that's an improvement. Okay, we're going to put the body on there now. I'm just going to drag it just a little off of past the wings, just a skosh. So there's a little teeny tiny piece of tail sticking out, or body end sticking out that you can't fully see on this one. And then I'm trying to get the antennas on there, nice little thin lines with a dot at the end, which did not always work. I try to put the dot on and then clean my brush off a little so I can just drag from the dot. And sometimes that worked, and sometimes it wasn't so great. But there we go. It is what it is. Now we'll move on to the other one. Next week, I'll be doing my own nails again. Seems like I just did them, but it's already time again. And being that it's May, I always do flowers in May, so it's going to be something flowery. I'm not exactly sure what yet, but stay tuned and you'll see. I'll try to refrain from using purple, because I know you guys have seen me doing a lot of purple stuff lately. As it is my favorite color, I tend to do that on my own nails a lot. Or that tends to be the first color I grab when I'm ready to do something. But I try to break it up and use colors and things that are not something I normally would wear, since I know I'm not making these all for myself. See, this butterfly is already looking better than the other one. At least at the moment, until hopefully I don't mess anything up. But sometimes, like, if I had known I was going to have to be hand painting all these like this, I would have not bothered to stamp them on there. I would have just painted them in the first place. But it's not how it came out. And time for the body. But back to what I was saying is, if you're not good at hand painting like me, and you need a guide of where to how to paint, where to paint it into, stamping can be good for that. Because I just use that stamped one as a guide for where I'm going to paint over. Also, if I had stamped these in white, then painting over it will cause whatever color you paint over is going to make it pop better. So there's always that. Okay, I like that bottom one. The top one, not so much. Alright, now I think I'm going to do the rest of these off camera. Okay, and here we go. Now, I decided when looking at the phone case again that there was glittery stuff on top of where the butterflies were. So I'm just going to go in with a really thin light coat of the glitter polish again over top of these so I can get some of the glitter on top of the butterflies. Not very much. I didn't want it to be real. I wanted to make sure the nails are still clear, so I didn't want to do too much on there. And then we will cure those. Okay, we're back. Now, we're going to do the old base coat, top coat, buff and file on top again situation. So I'm going over these butterfly ones with the base coat now because they were feeling just a little bit bumpy from the glitter polish and I wanted them to be very smooth. So we'll get the base coat on and then cure them. Now we're back. Now I'm going to go in with a layer of my tempered top coat. A pretty decent layer because this is the one we're going to be buffing on. The last thing you want to do is file through all your coats of stuff and then file part of your butterfly off that you spent all that time painting. So I'm just going to be giving these a light buff because they really were not that bad. I'm also going to hold those upside down so the top coat will pool at the middle. And then here we go. I'm just going to show you on the thumb. Just going to do a quick buff over the whole thing. Make sure it's smooth and doesn't have any. And if perchance you need to reshape the sides a little, now's the time to do that. I didn't have a problem with that on this set, but I just want to smooth them off. Okay, and now we're going to go back with the color that we used on the accent nail. And if you look at the phone case again, you'll see it has a rim around the edge of the purple or the lavender. That is what I'm going to do with this. I'm just going to do a thin outline around the whole thing with the lavender that matches the accent nail. Now I probably should have done 2 coats of this, but I didn't. I think it's okay, but it would have, I think, brightened the color maybe or solidified it more. I don't know. It would have intensified the color a little better had I gone over it with a second coat. But I did not do that, so it is what it is. I think by the time I got to this point, I was just wanting to be done and get out of there. Now, I don't do an outline on nails that often because I'm not that big of a fan of the way it looks, but since they had it on the phone case, I figured I'm just going to do it on here. Finish them off. Now, if I would have had stickers and I didn't have to paint those butterflies, this would have been a real quick set to do. I could have easily just stamped the black outline butterfly on, went with stickers, and went on my way, but I did not. You guys know me, I always tend to complicate things more than they need to be. And once I'm happy with that, we will move on. And I'm just going to even this out a little more because it looks a little bit wonky. Okay, and I believe we're done with that one. And I guess I'm going to show you one more. I'm pretty sure this is the only other one. I know I did not record all of them. I found when doing the outline too, if you have a little more polish on your brush or paint or whatever you're using, rather than less, it seems to come out a bit better. Then you don't have to keep going over it like I'm doing right now. And smooth it out again. Okay, are we done? No, we're not done yet. And smooth it out. Okay, I think we're done with that one. And I believe that's it. Okay, moving on. It's time for the top coat. I'm going in here with the tempered top coat. I'm just putting a normal layer on now on all of them. Like pretty much all my butterflies look different. they all got outlined just a little bit differently. Ay, ay, ay. Well, I guess it's good practice for me. Okay, those will be cured as soon as I'm done that. And here we are. Now I've flipped them over, as you can see, and stuck them back on there. I've cleaned them off underneath, making sure there's no blue tack under there. And we're going to go on the back side with a very thin layer of top coat. I barely have any on my brush. I just want to make sure to coat it so the nails will look very clear. I etch all my nails underneath and take the number off with my e-file in part of my prep for my nail tips. So they always are going to look a little cloudy underneath. So that's another reason we need to do this underneath. Now I'll give them a final swipe underneath the middle to get any that has pooled there, then I'll cure them. Now these 3D butterflies, I'm going to do one on the accent nail I got these off of, you guessed it, AliExpress. I'm about used up all my purple ones already. I need to start doing some different colors. Okay, now we got gem glue. I'm just going to put, this is a real quick, easy peasy one. I'm just going to put one little dot or one daub of gem glue on there. I'm going to get the butterfly and stick it right in there. I will push it down into the glue, and then I will get it positioned the way I want it. And then it's ready to go in and get cured. I'm going to set that one in the lamp, and then I'm really quickly just going to do the other one while we were here. So then I will be curing them both at the same time, and then we'll be done. And the second one going on. Okay, now we're going to cure both of those. And now they are all done. Ta-da! And if you like these, I'd really appreciate it if you give me a like. And if you want to see more, I upload new video every Saturday. So please go ahead and subscribe. And here we are at the tail end of the finished set. I hope you like them. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.